60 seconds. I'm going to ask everyone to please have a seat. Thank you. Including our faculty. Okay, good morning. On behalf of the entire McCaskey family, I would like to welcome our guests and our students to this auditorium for our annual Alumni recipient ceremony, distinguished alumni recipient award ceremony. You know, of all the school organizations, those would be middle school, elementary, or high school is certainly the most visible. When our graduates leave McCaskey, they say something very important to this community. They inform our community as to how well we are doing as a school system. Certainly, the kind of family members you become, the kind of employees, the kind of citizens you become, do that in a very direct way. We have with us this morning 5 individuals who have distinguished our school and themselves through their life's work. And whether or not you, as a student, become a recipient of such a distinguished award, you certainly will become a McCaskey graduate and part of that rich alumni tradition that we enjoy, and certainly will continue to say to this community that we are a high school and a school system of excellence. At this point, I would like to introduce our superintendent, Ms. Vicki Phillips, to do our greetings this morning.
Good morning. You know, McCaskey Pride walks these halls in this community every day, but never is it more apparent than when we come together to honor distinguished alumni. Those who by their voice and deed model what it means to be McCaskey proud, and who stand as symbols to all of us that we can do anything we choose as long as we set our minds and our hearts to it. I know you join me in celebrating their accomplishments and in honoring them as role models for all of us. And to guide us through the ceremonies, we actually have another proud McCaskey graduate from the class of '62, Dick Hawksworthy of WJAL Anchor.
Thank you, Superintendent Phillips. And good morning. It's always a pleasure to come home to J.P. McCaskey High School. Superintendent Phillips talked about McCaskey pride. We have always been McCaskey proud. It's something that stays with you, never leaves you, no matter where you go. You will always be McCaskey proud, and I am always McCaskey proud to come back here. We come here to honor some of McCaskey's distinguished alumni. We also have with us this morning some past recipients of this coveted award. Dr. Paul Ripple, class of 40. Dr. Ripple. Buddy Glover, class of 67. Buddy. John W. Luce, class of 43. Jack. Yours truly, class of 62. Corey Kraft, class of 58. Morning, Coach. And Nelson Polite, class of 41. Nelson. And the people who have the difficult job each year of deciding which outstanding graduates of John Pearsall McCaskey will receive this award, the members of the Distinguished Alumni Awards Committee. James Apple, class of 62. If you would rise and hold your applause until the entire committee is standing, please. William R.A. Bogan, class of 81. Susan Garafola, our tireless worker. Susan. Nicholas Giannopoulos, class of 41. Rosa Grapera, yours truly, class of 62. John W. Luce, class of 43. and Nelson Polite, class of 41, Joe Notwell Stokes, 56, and Sherma Height Wollstonhume, class of 67. The distinction awards. The Distinguished Alumni Awards, the J.P. McCaskey High School first presented these awards in 1995. And since then, 35 members of the McCaskey High School family have received this coveted honor. There is no contest for this award. You cannot win it. It's an honor bestowed on those who have left this revered house of learning and took what they learned and used it to better their lives and the lives of others in their communities. This award does not discriminate. It's blind to whether you were rich or poor, a gifted student, or one like myself who somehow managed to leave this grand old institution with a diploma in hand. This award, above all, recognizes everything our teachers at John Pearsall McCaskey High School have taught us. And above all, they taught us, if you believe in yourself, you will succeed. A big part of the success of McCaskey has always been its teachers. McCaskey teachers have always been special people. They have the gift of being able to teach us not what to think, but how to think. And I'm sure all of our recipients this morning could name a McCaskey teacher or teachers who have had a profound impact on their lives. Mine was an English teacher named Clifford D. Hartman, who kept telling me, Oxworth, you can do it. He would not give up on me, but more importantly, Mr. Hartman would not allow me to give up on myself. And because of that, I was able to succeed. And that is what McCaskey is about. And that's what makes us a family. And no matter where you go in life, no matter what you do, you will always be a member of the McCaskey family. No one can ever take that away from you. In this honor, this morning we honor some members of our McCaskey family. Carole Brown Roberts left McCaskey High in 1960. She went to work with the Lancaster County Courthouse. In 1965, she took a job with Franklin and Marshall College as a member of the secretarial staff in the psychology department. And she quickly moved on to become secretary to the dean of students. And that was followed by her appointment as assistant director of personnel services. Carole continued her education and received an Associate of Arts degree from F&M in 1988. Then she became a mortgage assistant outreach coordinator with the Lancaster County Human Relations Commission. She helped people realize the great American dream of owning a home. Carole then became executive director of Lancaster Enterprise Incorporated, where she oversaw small business development among minority and women entrepreneurs. Carole now works for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as contracts outreach coordinator with the Department of the Treasury. And she continues to find time to give back to her community through such organizations as the Urban League, Christmas Addicts, the YWCA, and Big Brothers and Big Sisters. We proudly present our Distinguished Alumni Award to Carole Brown Roberts, class of 60. And presenting the award, Dorothy Hammond, President of the McCaskey Alumni Association and class of 1951. Dottie.
Thank you very much for that honor. I am humbled, I am gratified, I'm satisfied to be back here at McCaskey. I'm listening to all the things that they were saying that I have accomplished. None of them would have been accomplished had I not had the foundation that I received here at McCaskey. At the time that I was here at McCaskey, probably your mothers or uncles or aunts would know, it was a struggle. It was a struggle from the standpoint of having to come to school from way across town, meaning toward the end of South Queen Street, and walking to school. We didn't have a bus to get us to school. So obviously there were days that you didn't want to come, but within myself, I am a big proponent of education. Education. While at McCaskey, I had a homeroom teacher who was also an English teacher who stressed, again, you can do it. With all the obstacles in the way, you can do it. There are many times when you think about, well, why don't I just quit and get a job? That was not in the cards for me to just quit and get a job. One of the things that also came about as being here at McCaskey was the fact that there were a group of us in the class of 1960 who we continue to get together every now and then, maybe every other year. There's probably about 15 of us. And if you can do that when you leave, and you still have that connection with people you're going to school with, that is very satisfying because you keep up to date on what things have happened. One of the things that I definitely like to do is to pass on what I have learned to someone else. So one of my mottos is each one, teach one. If you have come upon something that you know someone else doesn't know, pass that on to someone else. In my accomplishments, one of the things I did was tutor 4th through 6th graders. Now, at the time I was doing this, no way I can deal with 4th through 6th graders. But they too needed something from someone to hold their hand, to let them know that there were other people who cared other than their families. And normally, sometimes that happens with the mentorship coming from someone outside the family. It could be a teacher or just someone outside the family. I suggest to you that if you don't have a mentor in that capacity, that you try and seek somebody in that capacity. Going on with what my education, having worked at Franklin Marshall College, an education institution, all academics, highly respected liberal arts college. When I went there, I was the only African American person on staff. If you didn't think that was a challenge, I'm telling you, you don't know what challenge is. McCaskey was a challenge, but that was also a challenge because I'm in this institution with highly intelligent, respectable individuals, not only students, but also the faculty and staff. During that time, I was able to work with the African American students there in some of their programs and was also the recipient of 3 awards from them. And just because I was someone there that they could talk to, they're away from home, etc. Again, I suggest to you, if you're going off to college, try and find someone on that campus that you can talk to. It doesn't have to be the guidance counselor, it can be a faculty person, just as the person is here if you have a favorite teacher. Going on, I still continue to work with people because I love working with people, whatever age group. Having left Franklin Marshall College, I went on to work with the Lancaster Enterprise Incorporated, which was a small business incubator assisting minority and women businesses to either get started in their business or to enhance their business. That, again, for me, was a challenge. It seems like I thrive on challenge. And I, again, suggest to you, there should be some type of challenge in your life. Because if you don't have a challenge, then you're not going to accomplish anything. Having gone on from there, I decided, well, I might as well do something different. Throughout my career, I've worked with city government, state government, and county government. And believe me, that's a challenge. Working now with state government, I'm also helping entrepreneurs with their businesses. That is a challenge because right now you don't have a lot of minority women out there in businesses and they're trying to find money and that type of thing. Again, that is a challenge. Not only with the challenge, you also have to commitment in life. What are you going to do when you leave here? Are you going to go to school? Or are you just going to get a job? Or what are you going to do? You need to have a focus. Now, that doesn't mean that that's going to be your ultimate decision, because along the way you're going to change your mind. And that's okay. But you need to have something to strive for. For me, striving for excellence is one of the things in my repertoire. And then I try to pass that on to someone else. Commitment, caring, you need to care about somebody else. Yes, you care about yourself, but you also need to care about someone else, because that other person is going to give you satisfaction in what you do in life. I would like to stress also to all of you that as you go along in this world, and right now you're on a journey. You're in the very, very early stages of a journey. And my journey right now has been more than 40 years, and I am continuing my journey. And I will continue to help people as much as I can. I will continue to be proud of being a McCaskey graduate. I will continue to be proud of McCaskey itself. No matter where you go, the name McCaskey comes up. I've been in Florida, I've been in Georgia. McCaskey name has come up through talking to people, or you're just networking with people, and the first thing you say, I have this thing that, I'm in Harrisburg working now, and people say, oh well, then, you're from Harrisburg. No, I'm not from Harrisburg. I'm from Lancaster. And Lancaster is my home, McCaskey is my school. And you would be surprised at the number of people who know about McCaskey, not only in athletics, but also with the academics of McCaskey. And also, we hear about the challenges McCaskey has with the various controversies that are going on, but still be proud of McCaskey. As Mr. Huxley said, you'll never get it out of your system. They can't take it away from you. You can't throw it away. So just be proud of the fact that you are a McCaskey graduate. You are a McCaskey student. If you didn't, you're not going to graduate, you're still going to be a McCaskey person. So I leave you with these words that if you can just remember that you're going through challenges and commitments, and also be very, very aware that each one teach one. Thank you.
Just sitting here listening to Carole, I realized how much we had in common, Carole. When you were a senior, I was a little sophomore here at McCaskey. We grew up in the same neighborhood. I was born on South Duke Street, grew up on Howard Avenue. I'm a product of the city school system. Went to George Washington Elementary School. Let's hear it for Abraham Junior High School. I had to get that plug in for Edward Hand, right, buddy? That's a fine, fine institution down there, I want to tell you. I mean, look what they did with me, huh? When Laszlo Birinyi Jr., class of '61, was a big senior at McCaskey, I was a junior. Laszlo was born in Hungary and raised in Lancaster. He graduated from McCaskey, as I said, in 1961. He entered the University of North Carolina. From there, it was on to New York University and then the world of movers and shakers on Wall Street. Laszlo began his career on Wall Street as a trader. That's T-R-A-D-E-R, not trader, trader. It was during that time he developed the first weekly trading calendar. In 1976, he joined Solomon Brothers. 2 years later, he was named the vice president and ultimately a director of the firm. In 1989, he left Solomon Brothers to form Birinyi Associates. Laszlo is also a columnist for Forbes magazine. And he wrote what is considered to be the premier book on stock market trading, The Equity Desk. For more than 10 years, he has been a panelist on the nationally televised Wall Street Week with Louis Rukeyser. In the 6 of the last 8 years, he was featured on the Wall Street Week Year-End Review for his outstanding stock selections. In 1999, Laszlo was inducted into the Wall Street Week Hall of Fame. And this morning, Laszlo Birinyi Jr., class of 1961, adds to his honors the J.P. McCaskey High School Distinguished Alumni Award. Now, unfortunately, Laszlo, because of another commitment, cannot be with us this morning, but he does send these words, and I will pass them on to you. To my friends at McCaskey, earlier this week I returned from a quick trip to Singapore. Next week I go to San Francisco, and then back to San Francisco the week after that. Over the years, I have become familiar with most of the major cities of the world, to the point where I'm as comfortable in London as I am in New York. To some extent, that is a result of McCaskey. Before I went to McCaskey, my schools and my world were several blocks around St. Joseph's Hospital, Reynolds Buchanan Park in the summer, Stevens Elementary, and at the extreme edge of my world, the First Presbyterian Church. McCaskey introduced me to people and sections in Lancaster that were different in a number of ways. And while I welcomed the educational experience, I did not really welcome it because it meant homework. The school experience did broaden my horizons. If there is something I would share with you today, it is to do things, go places, and expand your horizons. Go to New York on weekends. It's only 3 hours away, and it's not as expensive as you might think. Read something other than and these are Laszlo's words, the New Era or dime store novels. Take chances. I went away to college, and it actually cost my parents less than had I stayed home and gone to Millersville or Elizabethtown. There is absolutely nothing wrong with either. And don't let the borders of your world be the Maryland state line and the Pennsylvania Turnpike. As the ad says, just do it. From Laszlo Birinyi Jr., class of 61, and recipient of the 2001 Distinguished Alumni Awards. Those words from me. Now I can say I was a big senior when the Honorable Charles W. Smithgall was a junior at McCaskey High School. I just wanted to remind you of that, Charlie. Charlie Smithgall graduated from McCaskey in 1963. He left Lancaster for Philadelphia and the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy and Science. And he followed the Smithgall tradition of becoming a pharmacist. The Smithgall family opened its first drugstore in the city of Lancaster in 1916. Charlie is co-owner of 2 Smithgall pharmacies in the Red Rose City. And while still a student here at McCaskey, Charlie became a Civil War reenactor. He has since amassed a large collection of Civil War weapons, including several cannon, working cannon, I might add. Charlie's extensive knowledge about the Civil War and the weapons used by both the North and the South led him to serve as a technical consultant for several documentaries and feature films, including the critically acclaimed movie Gettysburg. He conducts lectures and artillery demonstrations for the National Park Service. And Charlie is in his first term as mayor of the great city of Lancaster. He serves on the board of the Lancaster Campaign, Edward Hand Medical Society, and the Fulton Opera House. He previously served on the board of the Lancaster Recreation Commission, United Way of Lancaster County, and the Lancaster County Historical Society. And it is with honor that we present our J.P. McCaskey High School Distinguished Alumni Award to the Honorable Charlie Smithgall, class of 1963.
Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Good morning. I want to welcome all the students, Vicki Phillips, the superintendent of schools, any school board members that I haven't seen that might be hiding in the back, all the principals, the teachers, and all the members of the McCaskey Alumni Association that are here and previous recipients. If you noted, I put the students first because you guys, ladies and men, are our future in our city. And I'm proud to say that you're here, and I'm proud to say I'm a McCaskey student. I'd like to thank the McCaskey Alumni Association for honoring me with this Distinguished Alumni Award. It seems it was just yesterday that I was sitting up here in the same auditorium, and it looked exactly as it does today, as a student. I grew up in Lancaster on Lemon Street and still live on Lemon Street. In fact, I was born and raised at 549 West Lemon Street, got married, moved across the street to 534. As you can see with Laszlo, I haven't gotten very far. He's been every place, I've been no place. Now let's hear it for these schools. Kindergarten, I went to Wharton Elementary. First through sixth grade at Stevens Elementary, which I expect nobody here to go there because it closed about 20 years ago. Then I went to Reynolds Junior High School. Then finally in McCaskey as a member of the class of 1963. This was almost the same path that my daughter took to McCaskey when she was in the McCaskey class of 1993. I have many good memories of my 3 years here, especially the Central Pennsylvania Football Championship of 1962. Like you have of your basketball team that has created a great reputation for McCaskey over the last 2 years. Let's hear it for the basketball team. I was just an average student and just enjoyed the fine educational experience that McCaskey had given to me. Then I entered college, and I discovered that my McCaskey experience gave me a one-year head start on all my classmates from other high schools from around the world, just as my daughter discovered in 1993 when she started McCaskey. The class of 1963 is a unique class in the history of Lancaster. Out of our class, we've had two mayors. The first was Art Morris, who was mayor in the 1990s, from 1980 something through 1992, I think. He was mayor for 10 years. Then myself, I'm just finishing my first four-year term and seeking re-election for a second term. We also had two district justices and one of the attorneys or lawyers for both the city and the school district of Lancaster. 5 years ago, the thought of becoming mayor of the city of Lancaster was not even a dream of mine. I ran for mayor because I was not happy with the way Lancaster was progressing, and I thought I could help Lancaster's future. As I was campaigning, I went to all the houses but about 350 in the city, and I talked to as many people as possible, not only about the city government, but also the future of the school district of Lancaster. I felt then and now that the school district of Lancaster is on the right track, and you, the students, are getting the best education in this county. As mayor, I am always seeking economic development opportunities for the city, and I always promote McCaskey and the educational opportunities that you, the students, have available to you. From the IB program to all the AP courses to the business and general programs that are available. As I have said before, I will always be grateful for my education and the opportunities that McCaskey has given me and is making available to all of you. And I'll always be McCaskey proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Charlie mentioned Debbie and Debbie Smithgall. The Honorable Charlie Smithgall's wife is with us this morning. Debbie? And seated next to Debbie is the husband of our next recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award, Mr. Mike Minney. Mike, if you would stand, please. Because at this time we are going to honored Barbara Ann Dunlap Minney, class of 66. After graduating from J.P. McCaskey High School, Barbara Ann Dunlap Minney headed for Westchester University. She wanted to become a teacher. She did. And she came home to Lancaster and the school district of Lancaster. Barb began her teaching career as a second-grade teacher at Hamilton Elementary School. And while teaching others, Barb continued with her own education. She earned a master's degree from Millersville University. In the classroom, she taught 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. She moved to Martin Elementary School to teach gifted students and continued with her education. Barb received her principal certification from Temple University. She served as assistant principal at Martin and Wharton Elementary Schools and later principal right next door at Wickersham Elementary School. Barb has since returned to the classroom as a 6th grade teacher at Buchanan Elementary School. Barb has long been involved in the Lancaster community. She has had a lasting impact on the lives of many people, especially Lancaster's children. And just as Barb Minney is a compassionate and caring teacher, she is also a shining example of courage. It is her courage in the face of adversity that has brought hope and inspiration to so many in the Lancaster community who are fighting the battle against cancer. It is with honor that this morning we present our J.P. McCaskey High School Distinguished Alumni Award to Barbara Ann Dunlap Minney, class of 1966. I know her, I can do that. And her husband's right down there. I can get away with it.
With joy and laughter, soon will be a memory. Lyrics from our what? Alma mater. How true these lyrics have been, although I probably gave it no thought during all those years. I walked the hallways of McCaskey, sat in classrooms, attended assemblies singing the song. A memory, 35 years old, that to this day brings positive, happy recollections of those special years. It was at McCaskey that some of my fondest memories remained foremost in my mind. Although back then, in the dinosaur ages, we graduated a class of over 600, I, to this day, have maintained an extremely close relationship with many classmates, including that of my husband, Mike, also a 1966 graduate. Strong bonds from high school are difficult to break, and I know you have them as you sit there next to friends. And miles may separate us on the map, but the friendship is never broken. I had no idea 3 decades ago how special some of those high school friends would still remain and have become closer. Our high school, yours, mine. It prepared me, but for what I was unsure back in 1966, I only remember, truly, I wanted to be here every day. I had excellent instructors. Those who not only taught in myriad of disciplines, but they were there to guide and they were there to direct all of the students. Perhaps I looked at it differently back then. It probably wasn't upmost in my mind the wealth of knowledge I was receiving. It was probably the socialization in the lobby before school. Don't know if you can still stay out there on the steps and finish and review your homework assignments and plan the end of the day activities. And these times, too, were so important. Despite the excellent job and the excellent teachers I had to prepare me for the college years, there were days when I would wonder, am I ready to leave McCaskey and the warm comforts of the walls in which I am every day? The teachers remind in my mind 3 years of excellent teachers from educators who truly cared and taught us to move forward and to become independent. The academics were important, but those other skills equally, if not more, important. The respect given to me, the encouraged to pursue education came from all those who were beside me every step of the way through grades 10, 11, and 12. I remember thinking I wanted to graduate and give back something to students, and I hope some of those students are out there today who I was fortunate enough to meet. One's chosen profession those 3 decades ago was just that, a lifetime career. I proudly can say I am a product of the school district of Lancaster. I attended Lafayette, Reynolds, and McCaskey. I resided and have been a taxpayer in our district. I didn't wander off to the outskirts of the community. And for the last 31.5 years, I've been an educator in our district. Today, in a world of constant flux, of job changing, moving here and there, this may seem quite mundane and unexciting to you, but quite the contrary. Each year has brought with it new challenges and obstacles to face, and better yet to conquer. McCaskey prepared me to look at every situation from varied perspectives, to listen to the multitude of decisions being made, to filter out the unimportant requests being made, and to finally make a decision that was best for me. What is best for you? That's a question only you can answer. Your families, your teachers, your friends and acquaintances can be a foundation of strength and support, but you, only you are the one to make the ultimate decision of your lifetime goals. And you have just that, a lifetime to absorb as many experiences as you can and go forward looking for a career in life that you will be content and you will be satisfied. Every year, my husband Mike and I give a modest scholarship award to a graduating high school McCaskey student, a senior who has maintained a 3.0 average, has participated in certain sports, and who is attending a 4-year college program. We do this in memory of his father, Jay, who was a dedicated sports enthusiast of McCaskey teams. It makes us feel good that we can do something in a very small way to help one of you pursue your goals. The award that is being presented to me today is one that I wish I could stand here and share with family members who are no longer here, because it is a day of happiness. I know there are McCaskey alums who have become famous, who are outstanding leaders, who are financially successful, who have developed or invented something of importance, or who have excelled on the athletic fields. Yet I stand here today, certainly not famous, not an outstanding leader, inventor, nor an athlete, but I graciously accept and I sincerely thank the Alumni Committee for honoring me and my educational accomplishments with children throughout my lifetime career. It fills me with pride when I hear former students from my teaching years at Hamilton and Martin personally contact me, or in interviews, as one teen of the week stated that she was becoming a teacher due to my influence. Or as a Wickersham principal, having students share with me how the respect and assistance I provided got them back on their track after difficult days. Yes, the true meaning of discipline does need to teach. These types of comments are more rewarding than anything. To have touched positively McCaskey graduates some years prior to their completion of high school. As I've always told children, including my own and my class this year at Buchanan, think, be responsible, and use common sense, and your life will fall into place. 3 little things not always easy to do, but coupled with dedication, hard work, and a willingness to pick up and move on when things fall apart, because that might happen. You too can be as happy with your chosen career as I am with mine today. Hail to thee, McCaskey High.
Thank you, Barb. You never know when you leave McCaskey High School where life's calling will take you. Father Luke Veronis has traveled thousands of miles and extended a helping hand to thousands of people since he graduated from John Pearsall McCaskey High School in 1983. And on this day, when we honor him, Father Luke continues his work helping others who cannot help themselves. Father Luke and his wife Faith, a 1981 McCaskey graduate, are in Albania as we speak. Father Luke has served as a missionary priest of the Orthodox Church in Albania since 1994. And as your social studies teacher would tell you, if he or she already has not, Albania is a former communist country in Southeast Europe. And under communism, its citizens suffered religious persecution. After the fall of communism in Eastern Europe, Father Luke went to Albania to help its people look to the future with faith and hope. Unfortunately, the fall of communism was followed by ethnic violence between Albanians and the Serbs in Kosovo. Violence in the form of atrocities committed against the men, women, and children of Kosovo. In 1999, Father Luke and Faith helped in the relief work for more than 400,000 Kosovar refugees who poured into Albania seeking shelter and safety. Father Luke serves as Dean of the Resurrection of Christ Orthodox Theological School in Albania. Both he and Faith are spiritual advisors to Albania's young people. We proudly present our John Pearsall McCaskey Distinguished Alumni Award to Father Luke Veronis, class of '83. And here to accept this honor are his parents, Father Alexander and Carole Veronis. Are we going to show the video first, or Father Alexander speaks first? What shall it be? Well, what would make more sense? Who knows? Susan, where are you? Video first? He's ready to roll. Okay, sir, hit it.
Beloved teachers and administrators, distinguished guests and alumni, young men and women of JP McCaskey High School, I thank you very much for this honor today. When I first received news of the award and saw the other worthy recipients, I truly was humbled, being by far the youngest honoree. And yet, I know that the award is not an honor of anything I have done, but instead, it is an honor to all those who have touched my life, my family, my teachers, and especially my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. When I think of my 3 years at JP McCaskey High School, over 20 years ago, I have many fond memories, and I'm grateful for the countless lessons that have helped me throughout my life. Possibly the most important part of my education at this school was learning to live in a multicultural setting, where we were taught to respect and even admire the different cultures and people around us. I fondly remember AFS Day and how we celebrated the various ethnic traditions represented in the student body. Different ethnic friendships established not only in the classroom, but also on the basketball team, the student council, or other extracurricular activities reinforced this idea and helped us break barriers of fear which differences can often create, and guided us to value and even cherish the other for who they are and what they possess inside. This lesson has helped in life, especially over the past 14 years, during which I, and then later together with my family, have lived off and on in several countries of Africa, as well as in Albania. We lived through anarchy and war. In fact, back in 1997, my wife was even evacuated by the U.S. Marines in Albania. We have lived among people that have vastly different economic, social, political, and even religious backgrounds. And yet, we've realized that all people, every culture, and each circumstance offers something positive. Although we thank God for being born in America and realize more than ever the special blessings we possess as Americans, still we must say, we Americans aren't the best in everything. We've been humbled by the overwhelming hospitality we've received in the poorest of homes in Kenya or Albania. We've been inspired by the courage and the strength of refugees who have lost everything. We've been touched by the loving and strong family bonds, which especially offer a positive model for us in the West today. And the greatest lesson of life has been to see how people in terrible poverty, under repressive regimes, and in violently dangerous and uncertain circumstances, can still live with peace, joy, and hope. Virtues springing forth from a devout and unwavering faith in the Lord God. My wife Faith, who also is a McCaskey graduate, and I have learned an essential lesson throughout the years, that every person is created in the image of God, regardless of what they believe, and even if they believe. We've learned to respect the other, to learn from the other, and most importantly, to love the other. Ultimately, we've realized that the greatest blessings of life come from trying to humbly serve the other with a deep, authentic love. Young men and women of McCaskey, dare to break away from today's self-centered and egotistical attitude. An attitude that always emphasizes that our way is the best way, that our people are the best people, and that the purpose of life is simply to serve ourselves. Instead, dare to be different and radical. Not radical without direction, but radical in your respect for the other, radical in your love for the other, radical in your service to the other. Whether this other is an unknown classmate in McCaskey, your opponent across town, or some unknown foreigner halfway across the world. I thank you once again for this honor to our family, and I ask and pray that the blessings and mercy of our Almighty Lord be with each and every one of you. Thank you very much. There's still hope and still live a greater peace.
From Albania, that was Father Luke Veronis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Father Alexander Veronis, Father Luke's father.
Last night, yesterday, which was Easter Sunday for us and for Christians around the world, our family of 5 children, all of them with their spouses and children, were gathered at our house for the day, except Luke and Faith, who are obviously in Albania. And we asked our children, incidentally, 9 of whom are 5 children and 4 of their spouses are all graduates of McCaskey High School. And also of Wheatland, Reynolds, Price, Buchanan. So they're really city children who come out of the same educational system that all of you have come out of. What I'd like to say about the experiences of our children, I asked them what was so special about their education at McCaskey. My wife and I were asking them, and they said they liked the idea that McCaskey was a multicultural environment. It was an environment with people from all different kinds of backgrounds. It was a school where they had many opportunities to choose different courses. They particularly appreciated that fact. And they were able to move in directions to equip themselves for the future according to their desires. I'd like to say this to all of you students as well. A lot of times young people want to go to school, they want to go out into the future to some kind of experience, but they're not sure what they want to do with their future. That really doesn't matter, because many people start off in life at a young age not sure what they want to do. Our son Luke was a basketball player. He was captain of the basketball team, and he loved athletics and he loved mathematics. So he went to Penn State University and decided that he was going to be a math teacher and a basketball coach. And when he graduated, this was his plan. He had it all set. He finished all his courses. And then he went to Africa for the summer, just for a different experience. And in Africa, something happened to him that summer after his graduation. He saw a sea of people who were in great need. It was in Kenya. And he came back and he said, I got to go back to Africa. People there really need help. He went back to Africa, and in the next year, he visited 4 African countries under the auspices of our church. He built 5 churches, and he wasn't a builder, he wasn't a contractor, but he fell into a need there. He built 5 churches, and then he invited his mother and myself and a group of 25 of us. And we went to Africa in the summer of 1988, and we built a medical clinic. We built it in the jungle. You've seen Tarzan movies. I never had this experience prior to that, but it was exactly like a Tarzan movie. We were in the jungle, in the bush country of western Kenya. There was no electricity, no roads, no phones, no newspapers, no water in the area we were building. It was an area infected by malaria, and they had to have a medical clinic there to save the thousands of people who were dying every day from malaria and the effects of malaria. And that experience transformed the life of Luke. He came back to America and he decided he was going to continue his education, prepare himself to become a missionary and a teacher. And that's what he did. He went to 2 more schools, received a couple more degrees, and then wrote a book about his experiences as a missionary in Africa. And since then, he went to Albania after his experiences in Africa. He's been serving there ever since. And he and his wife, as was mentioned, also a graduate of McCaskey High School, got their foundation right here in this school, in this auditorium, on these athletic fields, and here are the extracurricular activities of this fine institution. And Luke's mother and I are extremely proud of this wonderful school here, which has prepared all of our children, and as I mentioned, 4 of our in-laws for the future of their lives. So I say to you as well, to every student here, if you don't know what you want to do tomorrow when you graduate, what school you're going to go to, or if you want to go into some other type of activity in your future, don't worry about it. Just go into the future with faith in yourself, confidence that you have the bases and the equipment that you received here, that you can face the future and face it successfully. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would join me in honoring the members of our McCaskey family who are the 2001 recipients of the J.P. McCaskey High School Distinguished Alumni Award.
Thank you. It's always very dangerous to be on the program with closing remarks, and as I was thinking about that, I thought the best thing I could do was get you out of here quickly, because I know how important you want to get back to first period. Superintendent Phillips, I hope you're noting that, their enthusiasm for first period. I would like to do the thank yous first, though, and say to the honored guest this morning, thank you for your inspiration and your words of wisdom. Thank you particularly to Mr. Hawksworth, who seemed to be getting a multitude of kisses today. I was watching that very carefully. I think 2 other people need to be applauded as well. Sherma Walston, who is our President Director of the Alumni Association, who put together today's program, did so much behind-the-scenes work, and she was assisted by the past director, Susan Garofolo. So if you would both stand up, we'd like to acknowledge your work. Behind me again to the President of the Alumni Association, Garth Hammond, thank you, and thank you for the gifts you gave. thank you finally to you, the audience, for being such a great one this morning. Your attention and respect that you gave not only the presenters, but to Mr. Hawksworth and everybody else who had part of the program is certainly appreciated. You represented McCaskey well, and you certainly edified that McCaskey pride. And on that note, yeah, we'll applaud you. And on that note, you're all dismissed. Please report to period 1.